Welcome everybody to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. Today I want to talk about something that I kind of got called out on yesterday's video and my video the day before yesterday. In those videos, I said that I support 80% lowers being around and defending them, even though I don't like them. And one of the reasons I said I like them, I said this in passing in one of the videos, is I think they are a great way for people that have been denied by the government their right to defend themselves and their families to actually obtain a way to defend themselves. Well, this made some people mad. They decided to call me out. They're just like, surely you're not suggesting that people should commit crimes, that people who aren't allowed to own firearms should buy these 80%ers and have firearms. You're saying, felons and criminals should be allowed to use 80%ers to get guns. Well, I'm not suggesting that anyone commit a crime. But I am acknowledging the fact that there are thousands, maybe tens of thousands, if not more, people in this country that are unjustly denied the right to defend themselves and their families because of archaic, draconian, racist gun laws regarding felons. I don't agree with these laws whatsoever, and no one who supports the Second Amendment should agree with these laws. So I can acknowledge the fact that, hey, these 80% lowers, the fact that they can buy them without going through an FFL, it provides a lot of good people who did a bad thing in their past who have atoned for it. It provides them a way to have a means of self-defense for, like I said, for themselves and their family. So I support them for that reason. Not just that reason, I also support them simply because they are an item. They are a tool. They are something people buy to use to exercise their rights to self-defense. And I don't agree on giving up anything just because I don't like it. I don't like 80%ers. Don't want one. Not even considering buying one. Would never consider buying one. There's no attraction to me, for me to them. So just don't see the point in them myself. A lot of work. It's almost as much as buying a ready-made Glock and you got to put it together yourself and risk screwing it up. Not interested. But like I said, I don't not defend something just because it's not something I care about. That's where that's the definition of a FUD. A lot of people think a FUD is someone, they like revolvers, or they like, look, they bought a lever action. What a FUD. That's not what a FUD is. The term FUD comes from these guys who used to just be like into trap shooting and hunting, and they're like, as long as they don't take my over-under shotgun and my hunting rifle and blah, 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 I don't care what else they take away from people. As long as I keep my rights to the things I like. That's what it stemmed from. So a FUD is someone who only defends aspects of the Second Amendment that personally interest them. They're willing to sacrifice some things if they think it benefits other things. They're willing to compromise. That's a FUD. And not defending 80% lowers simply because you don't like them, just like with bump stocks, everything else, that's quite FUDish. And I am a no compromise Second Amendment person. One of the things I'm also no compromise on is that I believe felons, once they have been released from prison, should have all their rights back. So I will not compromise on that. If you have served your time, done your sentence, you are now a free citizen again. If they are not safe for society, do not release them. Prisons need to be made about rehabilitation again, not profit. Unfortunately, right now, they're all about profit. And I won't use that negative thing to justify another negative, like denying people that have served their time their rights. I won't use one wrong to justify another wrong. Fix this one. Fix the prison system. And fix the fact that felons are denied their rights after they've been released. I'm not going to compromise on that. And with 80% lowers, I know 80% lowers are providing a means of self-defense for people who committed a crime when they were 17 and now they're 45 and they have a family and they're an upstanding citizen. Who would agree that these people shouldn't have a means to defend themselves and their family? I mean, who could support that idea? Now, if someone's a career criminal in and out of prison, keep them in prison. If they're a danger to society when you let them out, don't let them out. Like I said, fix the prison system. But don't try to use that broken system as an excuse to deny people their rights when they are free citizens. And like I said in my video, 80% lowers are a way for people that have been denied unjustly their rights to self-defense by the government to fight back, to have a means of protection, to kind of circumvent the injustice that has been forced upon them. And like I say, that's not me saying, hey, people go out there and commit a crime. It's me acknowledging that this happens and thinking it's a good thing. I do. If you want to condemn me for that, that's fine. You can go ahead and condemn me. You're not the first person to condemn me today, and you won't be the last. But I do believe 80%ers serve a very important function for people who can't purchase through an FFL, like I said, because of unjust, archaic, racist laws that our government still tries to enforce and still places upon its citizens. So if you want to get mad at me for that, go right ahead. But I support it. I think everyone out there should defend, because people always ask me, why are we wasting time defending bump stocks? Why are we wasting time defending 80%ers? Blah, blah, blah. Because it is a no compromise opinion that I hold when it comes to the Second Amendment. And I would hope most people would hold that same belief. I don't see a lot of people willing to compromise on the First Amendment, and you shouldn't be willing to compromise on the Second Amendment. Something doesn't have to make sense to you. It doesn't seem like it has to be something you want. You just have to understand that when dealing with things like this, stop trying to demonize objects and tools and saying, no, if we just take these things away, people will be safe. No, it's not the objects or the tools. It's the people that are the problem, the people that misuse things. We shouldn't take something away from the masses because a tiny percent of people misuse something. So there will be a tiny percent of people that misuse 80% lowers or 80% Glocks or 80% whatevers. Tiny percentage of people that misuse pistol braces or bump stocks even maybe. I don't know how you'd misuse one, but I guess you could. But that tiny percent of the people, they should be dealt with as individuals. You shouldn't try to deny something to the masses who don't misuse them. That'd be like saying we have to put breathalyzers on every car because of the small number of people who kill people drunk driving every year. Nobody would go for that, period, because you'd be punishing the masses for the actions of a few. And I don't like that at all, and I hope you don't either. So I'm no compromise on the Second Amendment. I see 80% lowers as something I don't want, but I see them as something I would defend. And also, like I said, I see them serving a great purpose. They are a way for people that have been unjustly denied their rights to fight back against the government, to actually have a means of self-defense when a government unjustly tries to deny them that. And I do believe people, like I said, that have turned their lives around, rehabilitated themselves, they should have the right to self-defense, even if they're doing it in a less than legal way. But I'm okay with it because, like I said, I don't like using one wrong to justify another wrong. And in this case, if you're saying, well, they shouldn't have the guns just because they committed a crime before and the prison system sucks. Well, what you're doing is you're defending a bad prison system instead of dealing with the actual issue. Fix the prison system, stop denying free citizens their rights, and 80% lowers are one thing that helps overcome that thing until we can fix it. You know, that barrier between free citizens exercising their rights. 80% lowers have provided a means for these people to circumvent that issue. So I support them, and I'll continue to support them. Like I said, I'm no compromise on the Second Amendment, and I also believe that any free citizen should be able to exercise their right to self-defense and own firearms, and 80%ers are a big help for a lot of people in doing just that. All right, now I want to move on to a little segment of the show that is my favorite segment of the show. And as you know, it is Gun Talk. Today I want to answer a question that came into me from a viewer. They said, I heard you say in a live chat the other day that 22 revolvers suck. Could you tell me why 22 revolvers suck so bad? Well, I think you only heard part of the conversation because I didn't say 22 revolvers suck. I said one of the reasons they suck, or one aspect of them that sucks, is the triggers. And a lot of people assume, oh, a little 22 revolver, that'd be great for my grandmother. It'd be a great gun for her. No recoil, simple, etc. And I said they're not really good for grannies and things like that because the double action triggers suck so bad. They're hard to pull. Now, if you're going to fire it in single action, you can cock it back. That's not as big a deal. But just being able to pull the trigger is not really easy on 22 caliber pistols because they're rimfire. The reason I say the triggers suck is because the springs have to be heavier. Because since it is a rimfire round, it takes more pressure on that rim to fire the round than most centerfire cartridges do. So that hammer spring has to be heavier so that hammer falls with more force. And since it takes more force, it has to fall forward with more force, then it also takes more force to cock the spring back. So when you're cocking it, it's harder. And when you're pulling the double action trigger, it's much harder. They're very heavy, very cumbersome triggers. They're just not great. So that's why I was saying 22 caliber revolvers suck, because the trigger sucks. And because so many people think, wow, 22 and revolver, great for granny or someone with weak hands, when it's exactly the opposite. So the revolvers themselves don't necessarily suck, other than the fact that they're low powered and bad triggers and blah, blah, blah. So the reason you might want them is for someone who has weak hands, and I don't think they're good for that. So they kind of do suck, but still. The thing I was saying is that their triggers suck, and that is why they suck. All right, everybody, I want to end the show today, as usual, with our viewer EDC of the day. And today we have Peter D. And as you can see, Peter is carrying his GP100 7-shot 357 Magnum Ruger, a gun I love and own, in his Lobo holster, my favorite custom leather maker, my favorite holster you can buy. So obviously, I approve of this setup. You know, a gun I love and own, and holsters I love and own several of. So I wholeheartedly approve. Now, your decor might be a little something I'm questionable of. A little girlier than I would expect from most people who carry a revolver. But, you know, I'm not judging. You do you. Whatever you like. I don't care. I don't need to know that much about you. I just like your carry gun and your holster. One other thing I will say, though, even ignoring the girly background there, I do hope that's not your belly button, because that is gross. I mean, I know Audi belly buttons exist, and I find them kind of gross anyway, but if that's your belly button, that's super gross. You should have something to do about that. Please tell me that's your finger or something. But there you have it. There's our viewer EDC of the day, Peter D. with his GP100 7-shot 357 Magnum in his Lobo enhanced pancake holster. All right, everybody, that's our show for today. Thank you for coming, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. Until I see you again, I want to sign off by saying, as usual, as far as the state of the world today is concerned, well, you know, it is what it is. But as long as we keep our heads about us, we ignore the fearmongers, we ignore the profiteers, the people who want to keep you angry and afraid so that they can manipulate you. If we ignore those people and keep fighting the good fight, what things will be in the future, especially for gun rights, is better.